Well, hello again. This is another one of those days when I think I'll just stay in the house. Already the heat index is 96 and it's not even 11 o'clock in the morning. It's supposed to get pretty darn hot today, so I'm heading back inside. I decided to make a chicken noodle soup finally. I've been dying for a homemade chicken noodle soup. Right now I'm making the stock. I bought one of those rotisserie chickens at Walmart. You know, I can't buy a chicken and season it in rotisserie, the stupid thing, for what they're charging for one. And it's a pretty good sized chicken. So you bring it home, you know, you just pull it all apart, and then put the meat in a bowl for being chopped up later, and the carcass and what's left of the other stuff, the bones and all that, just throw it into a pot and with some onions and carrots and junk like that, some celery, salt, pepper, and thyme, and garlic and bay leaves and things, and just let it slow simmer for about an hour and a half. I've got about an hour and seven. Well, I have an hour and 6 minutes left. I cannot wait. But once we're done, we'll strain all this crap out and start all over again with just the broth. And eventually, more vegetables will be added, more salt and pepper, and then the chicken will go in, and a little bit of turmeric. I bought some turmeric today. Well, there it is right there. It's ground turmeric. It's got kind of a yellowish color to it. It's a root, an Asian root that they grind up from some kind of tree of some kind. And it's got a lot of nutritional value to it. It helps with inflammations and things like that. Antioxidant, whatever that means. But anyway, after I get done, straining all this out and getting the final pot going with the strained out stock and the new vegetables added and the chicken added and everything, I'll put about 1.5 teaspoons of this stuff in there, and it'll give it that nice golden brown, golden color that you like in your chicken broth, Well, there's the stock. After I took all that stuff out of there, this will all go out in the woods to the animals. They'll have a nice feast out there tonight. This will go in the fridge. Tomorrow I'll pick up more celery and onions, and then I've got some carrots, and we'll add a few other things along with the chicken, and we're going to whip up some. Matter of fact, maybe I should taste this. See what it tastes like. It might taste like crap, I don't know. It's not bad, not bad. I need to add a little more salt to it though. Well, it's the next day. I did all my cleanup and everything. It's pretty messy making your own homemade chicken soup, let me tell you. What I'm going to do right now, I just warmed this stuff up in this stainless steel deal. I'm going to run this through. I ran it through a metal strainer. Now I'm going to run it through some cheesecloth. I want to get a lot of the little solids out of there. Now we'll try to gather the corners up, and I guess I'm going to have to do that with both hands. Alright. That makes for a much clearer broth. I don't want to ruin my first batch of chicken stock that I've made homemade, but I am going to add just a little bit of ground cumin, maybe a teaspoon or two, I don't know. We'll see. I've already put additional salt in it. I've got the taste right about where I want it, so let's add some of this turmeric. I'm only going to use a teaspoon. It's probably too much, about 1/2 teaspoon, I guess. See if we can't get this thing to have a nice golden color. I may wind up adding more, I don't know. Doesn't look too bad. I'm going to try a little bit more maybe. Because we're going to be putting chicken in this thing, and we're going to be putting onions, carrots, and celery, chopped up celery, and chopped up onions and carrots. I might even decide to go with a cut up Yukon Gold potato in small little pieces. I think that would help it also. For years I've been muddling along with mismatching kitchen knives. Nothing ever matched. And they were cheap junk, and they would rust, and I'd replace them, and they would rust. And so last Christmas, James and Tanya said, "What do you want for a Christmas gift?" And I said, "Nothing." They said, "No, we got to get you something. Well, I finally caved in. I said, "Okay, give me a set of kitchen knives, something that's better than what I had." And they bought me these Never Dull Ninjas. Holy mackerel, that's a built-in sharpener and everything. You just stick it down in there and then run this baby, this lever up and down a few times, sharpens it up. It's just incredible how good they are. You got steak knives and a small paring knife here. I got that in the dishwasher right now. Then you got a big old giant, I mean, you can shave with these things. And then I got another big old knife that goes with it, and then you got almost a small cleaver is what I like to use the most. And then this last one is for is serrated. Man, I'll tell you, you got to be careful. Those suckers, they'll cut your fingers off. And then it comes with a pair of kitchen scissors too. Really, really a great set. Never dull ninja knives, and they paid a pretty penny for those. Anyway, right now I'm chopping up the onion, the celery, and carrots. I'm going to get them all ready to go. I'm washing some dishes because I need to have the pot clean that I'm going to be cooking the rest of this in. That's about how much we're going to put in that broth, the stock. Yeah, it's quite a bit of stock, so you know I'm not a big carrot fan, so I'm not going to put a whole lot of carrots in. But you know these onions they'll shrink down, this celery will shrink down. Right now we're getting ready to chop up the chicken, and I like a lot of chicken in my chicken soup. I don't like the noodle soup. I don't like chicken and rice. I just like standard chicken. So let's go ahead and chop it up. When it comes to cutting your chicken, you can cut it any way you want. You can cut it lengthways, you can cut it across, you can make the sizes whatever size you want. I like mine to be about bite size, and I like to cut them across, okay? You do it any way you want. There's no set way. You do it your way. It's your soup. You can put as many of the vegetables in there. You can add vegetables you might like. Throw in some corn. I'm going to throw in some peas and carrots. And I might even throw a potato in there and cut it up into chunks, maybe about this size right here, the potatoes, okay? I don't want it to be a potato soup. I've got some yellow potatoes. They say yellow potatoes, but I think what they are is small Yukon Gold, which is perfect for chicken soup. But you do it any way you want. I'm going to do a little size comparison and how much chicken I cut compared to the amount of stock we have, and I don't know, it looks like I might have cut up a little too much. Oh well, you know, I like a lot of chicken in there, but it may be too much. Maybe I need to cut it down to about half or 3/4. I've decided I wanted to add a little bit of Weiler's chicken powder to the stock to give it just a touch more chicken flavor. You don't want to use too much of this stuff. It's very powerful. I don't know why, maybe a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon at the most. But you know the problem is it's hardened up on me. Well, I don't want to sit there and scrape it. It's a pain in the butt. So what do? Well, we take a wet paper towel, wring it out, put it in there like that, and then we put it in the microwave and hit it in 20-second increments. 20 seconds. So let's do the first one. Alright, the first one, let's take this out here, see if it made any difference. It should have a little bit. We're going to run it again. Probably take about, I don't know, 2 or 3. By the way, you can also do this with hardened up brown sugar. Man, and once you get it loose and it's stirred around, it's real, you know, just easy to get out of your container, whatever your sugar is. Be careful, you know, it has to be some kind of a microwave container that it's in to do it. Then you can go ahead and wrap it in a plastic bag, a sandwich bag or something, put it in the freezer, and it'll never harden up again. Let's try it again. Well, it only took 2 20-minute segments, and as you can see, it just spoons right out now. No longer hard. I like that. You know, it's not a powder anymore, but it's a whole lot easier to deal with. Just be careful. The glass will be a little bit warm. It'll stir right out of there. You can stir it around. Alright, I got about a, what is this? This is a half a teaspoon. That's all I'm going to put in there, I think. Because like I said, it's very powerful stuff. You can overwhelm it a lot with that stuff. It'll turn out to taste more like a, I don't know, it'd taste almost like you took a tablespoon of that stuff, put it in your mouth. Very strong. So I'm going to keep adding just a little bit and a little bit till I get it right where I want it. It's almost there now. Alright, let's give this baby a taste test. Now hope I didn't put too much of that Weiler's in there. Oh, goodness gracious, that's good. Oh, that's splendid. I put just enough. I didn't overdo it. I cannot wait. We're going to pour this in a different pot, a larger pot. Then we're going to add everything. But right now the pot's washing in the dishwasher, so it'll be out in a few minutes. I am ready to pour. Alright, we got our fire up to full. Now I'm not going to put the chicken in until just a little bit before it's ready to be shut off. We're going to put our carrots in. We're going to put our onions in. And we're going to put our celery in. And I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. You really can't have chicken soup without some pepper. Gotta have some pepper. Some people use the white pepper. I use the black. It doesn't matter to me. Pepper's pepper as far as I'm concerned. Now we'll give her a stir, and once it starts to boil, we'll turn it down and let it simmer for about 15-20 minutes, whatever. Then we'll add our chicken, let it simmer a little bit more. I'll be tasting it, adding whatever additional seasoning I think it might need. But the whole idea is to just get the veggies softened up. Well, that's about all we need. Just little bite-sized pieces, not very much in size. Just guess all I'm going to do right there. Now we're just going to let it simmer for that 20 minutes. Now those potatoes will soak up a lot of that salt, so I may have to wind up adding a little more. I don't know. Some people add okra. Some people add peas. You know, just peas, just carrots, or corn. You make it any way you want. It's your soup, okay? When you're doing your last 20-minute simmer, and that's all I'm doing right here, I stirred it. You know, you gotta stir it a couple times. It's recommended you go ahead and put your lid on it. It won't boil over because it's simmering so low. You can see what I got the fire on. The fire is like really low. So it makes it cook better and faster. And you don't have to worry about boiling away all your chicken stock. Okay, everything's nice and tender and ready to go. Now in goes the chicken. I may have to wind up cutting a little more. I don't know. Let me stir it around and see what it looks like. Oh, that's not enough chicken. I'm going to have to cut a little bit more. Lucky me, that chicken's already cooked. Alright, let's see how this does now. Oh yeah, that's a little better. That's much better. Now we got some chicken in there. Matter of fact, you probably could stand to use a little bit more. Yeah, it's in there, but I think we better add just a little bit more. I don't want to have to search for my chicken. Alright, one more shot. I think that's going to do it. You know, I didn't buy this chicken to look at it. I bought it to eat. So now we'll let it simmer for about another 10 minutes, and then we'll taste test it and put whatever seasoning we want, and you know, to your taste. I think it's going to need a little more salt though. Those potatoes, like I said, really soaked it up. Let me do a little taste test here. Nope, it tastes pretty good. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I make chicken soup. I get this camera to focus a little bit here. That is really nice looking. Not too many vegetables, plenty of chicken, good stock made from the carcass and whatever was left over from the rotisserie chicken. Now I'm just going to let it sit for a while until lunchtime. Now you could have made this in a, I made it in a pot like this. A lot of people will make it in a Dutch oven, you know, a ceramic Dutch oven or a cast iron pot. It just however you want to do it, you know. I probably shouldn't have said the word iron. It kind of brought back a memory, an instant flashback from when wifey and I were first married. Wifey had a thing about iron. Most women want gold, silver, platinum. She liked iron. And I couldn't understand that, you know. And it started early in our marriage. Matter of fact, on the day we got married. In this photo, right after our marriage, we went back to the house we had rented. It was a 3-bedroom, fully furnished, $35 a month. Now that I think about that, it's astonishing because at the time, we were thinking, God, I hope we can afford this, you know, $35 a month. That you know, back in the '60s, that was quite a bit of money for us. And you know, so we're sitting on the sofa. We didn't even have time to. It was just a few hours after we got married. We didn't even have time. That we rented the house in advance, but never had time to really get the pictures on the wall, as you can see on the sofa. But we did buy a lamp that we liked, and that's the one to my left. Anyway, I'm sitting there looking, I'm smoking a cigar, and I'm sitting there looking at the marriage license. A big long sucker. I really hadn't had a chance to look at it up until then. I wanted to read every word, see, you know, just, it was kind of a neat thing. And she's looking at me, and she says, I guess she was getting impatient. She says, what are you doing? I said, you know, I just looked at her and said, I'm looking for a loophole. She said, forget it, bub. It's ironclad. Until next time, this is John.